Okay, so as always I'm going to start with the eyes. My go-to palette for this look is the Studio 54 palette from Louise Young, because this looks really pale in the pan, but it's actually an incredibly wearable soft gold that blends so beautifully with this, so it's just really subtle, and I love it. But I'm aware that I did a face of the day with this quite recently, so I thought I would find a different product to use. I thought I'd go high street, and I'm going to use this, which is the collection Your Style Your Mood. And I really like these collection palettes because they come in cardboardy packaging. It's cruelty free. I think this cost me £5, and in this world where there's a new high-end eyeshadow palette coming out every week or every day, it feels like, I feel like collection are keeping up with that trend, but they're kind of doing it in a more sensible way with non-expensive packaging and a good price point. If the light keeps changing, it's because it's a really cloudy, sunny, cloudy day in London, and I haven't set my light up because at the moment, with the bed out, the light is too close to my face, so I think it whites out too much. I don't have enough space, so sorry if the light keeps changing, but I think you'll get a better view of the makeup if I keep it like this. I'm using the NYX high definition eyeshadow base. So I'm basically going to use these two and this from this palette, starting with this one, which I think is a highlighter colour, they say, all over the lid. Sort of up towards the brow bone. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of mix this one and this one really subtly into the outside corner for a tiny bit of definition, but really not much. I don't want it to look like a smoky eye. So if, like me, you're someone who wears quite a lot of eyeshadow, resist the urge to really build it up so it's quite heavy. Just really subtle and slightly through the socket line just to blend for definition. And then the L'Oreal Super Liner, just along to where your lashes start to get thick, and right in at the root. I'm just going to use a black eyeshadow. Just over where I put the super liner. Then mascara. Now, because I'm doing this as a sort of, look, there goes the sun, as a day look, I'm going to use the Perversion Urban Decay mascara. Right, so the eyes on that are super quick. The thing that really makes this for me is the combination of the Estee Lauder EE cream and the tinted day cream from Dr. Hauschka. Now, this on its own is far too pale for me. They only do 3 colours. This is light. I think medium would probably be too dark for me. Luckily, I've got the Dr. Hauschka tinted day cream, which I mix with it. They complement each other really well, and you get a really glowy finish. And this has got an SPF of 30 in it. This has no SPF, so you don't have to worry about that. So, as you can see, that's super pale. And this is quite dark. So rather than buying 2 different foundations for winter and summer, I've just used this day tint to sort of custom make my own colours. And it always works really well. It's always worked with every foundation I mixed it with. It's just nice being able to customise my foundation, but with a really good glowy skin tint. I haven't actually tried it, but I bet you could mix it with your moisturiser. Maybe I should, as I'm failing to find the perfect tinted moisturiser. Right, on the under eyes I'm going to use Pixie by Petra colour corrector. Mostly on the inside corners where I'm darkest, but here I always have pigmentation. Then I'm using the Hourglass Hidden Corrective Concealer, and this is in Pearl. My skin is much better since using the Ordinary's lactic acid, but you have to be careful with it. I'll link to my review below. You can't just whack it on your face, but it still needs quite a lot of concealing. I don't love this concealer for the under eyes, but what I've been using. I do love it for covering blemishes. I am going to do a little bit of contouring. Just my usual with my NYX Wonder Stick, because I want my face shape to look like my face. Best one in the world. So, as you can see, this foundation combo just gives off such a nice glow without you really having to add anything to it. Though, of course, I am going to add to it. I'm going to use two of Daniel Sander's watercolour blushes, Rose Glow and Golden Glow, because I don't like bronzing really. It just looks bizarre on me because of my freckles. But sometimes I want a little bit of oomph, and I find that Golden Glow just helps with that. Then I'm going to set the under eyes with the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. I really want to try the By Terry Hyaluronic. Has anyone tried that? I imagine it is really expensive. And then my Cover FX to blot where I put the concealer on my chin. And around my nose. Now, obviously you could do a really nude lip with this, but quite often when I'm doing this makeup, it's because I feel crap about myself. And when I feel crap about myself, there's usually one lipstick that I go for. And it is not a nude. So you can imagine what I look like watching my kid play football, because it's Dangerous by MAC. Which is why I want to keep the eyes subtle and the skin looking good, because red can be an unforgiving colour. I'm then going to go over it with Rocksteady, which is a lip liner from the Gwen Stefani Urban Decay. Then, lastly, well, sort of nearly lastly, Polka Dots and Moonbeams from Ilia, which is a beautiful highlighter. And that's it for the daytime. Bright lip, glowy skin, not much on the eyes. So then I would powder this normally with my Hourglass powder, but because I'm going to show you what I do in the evening, I'm going to skip that step. So one of the things I love about this lipstick is I tend to put it on in the morning, reapply after lunch, and then if we're going out in the evening, I'll reapply it then, and that's it, it's done. If I am going out in the evening, what I tend to do is get my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow and just go over where I contoured before, really lightly. But because this isn't completely matte, it adds to the whole glow look. I don't know what my hair's doing today. I think it's trying to be 90s curtains. Then I get my Hourglass brow arch brow, never quite sure. And just fill in the gaps. Then I would add a little bit more blusher, so a little bit more rose glow and a little bit more golden glow. But not too much. Just using my foundation brush to blend the edges out. Then another little bit of this, of the Ilia highlighter. With some of the highlights from the Film Star Bronze and Glow over the top. Now, sneaky thing I always do when using this is to use this through the socket line. And it just warms it up a bit and gives a little bit more definition for the evening. And then I will tightline with Max Smolder. Thing is, I still want it to be about glowy skin and not really about over dramatic eyes, but I will get a bit of this highlighter and put it in the inside corner. And for a bit more oomph, the Lancome Hypnose Drama mascara. And then I set it with my Hourglass powder, which I love because it kind of brings everything together, but it keeps the glow coming through. Because I set here with a sort of I mean it says it's illuminating, but to me it's not. To add this over the top, it just makes everything look kind of the same. I'd also just blend out where you've added a bit of the bronzer with your powder, or with a very subtle paler colour, just so everything is nice and blended. And that is it, that's what I do. So quite often if you're going out and you have kids, or you've got people coming around for dinner, you're like doing bath time and trying to make your face look acceptable. So obviously I can just retouch this lipstick because it's going to stay all day, and then just a bit more glow to the cheek and a bit more definition where I feel I need it. Whenever I wear this makeup, and now obviously the sun is shining on me, so it doesn't look very glowy, but whenever I wear this makeup, everyone tells me that I look glowing and I look amazing and I look so healthy and blah 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 blah, but it doesn't actually look like I'm wearing very much makeup. If you haven't already, then please subscribe to my channel and go and check the blog out, and I'll put links to products below, and I'll put links to if you wanted to see the Louise Young palette in action. It is my favourite palette, so I will put a link to that video below, and thank you so much for watching.